Hello pattern lovers, you're welcome and welcome back. It's yet another exciting tutorial, and in today's video we'll be learning how to do this blouse. It's a kimono blouse with a notched collar, a cinched waist. So if you're interested in learning this and everything in between, kindly watch this video to the end and let's get straight to it. On my pattern paper, I already have a starting point line, which is serve as the shoulder line, and we'll start with the back pattern before we go over to the front. Now on this shoulder line, I'll first go down to my waistline, then to the blouse length. I recommend that you add 1 to 2 inches to your shoulder to hip line as your blouse length, so that it will sit nicely on the hip. So after marking those out, that's the waistline and the hip line, I'm going to use my ruler to mark them out this way and then label them waistline and the top length. Then I'll go ahead and come back to the shoulder line and mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder is 15, divided by 2 is 7.5. Then from that point, I'll be adding 9 inches as my sleeve length. That's the kimono sleeve length, yeah. And then I'll go down to 10 inches, which is my bust point line, and that will serve as the sleeve opening. So once I have the 10 inches here, you can decide to add 2 inches to your bust point line as your sleeve opening if you want to, but I choose to maintain my bust line as the sleeve opening. I'll measure the whole of what I have here, that's the shoulder measurement plus the sleeve length, then come down to this sleeve opening line and minus 2 inches. So I had about 16.5 on the shoulder line, and down here I marked 14.5. That's it, 2 inches minus from what I have on the shoulder. Then I'm going to connect the 2 points like this, and you can see that it is slanty. I'll come back to the shoulder line and mark 3 inches as my neck width. Then I'm going to come down here to 2 inches to slope the shoulder. You can decide to do even 2.5, but if you're doing more than 2 inches, that means you would have to elongate your sleeve opening if you use your bust point line. But from what I have here, I have extra 2 inches allowance as my round sleeve. That is measuring from the sleeve length on my arm and the round sleeve on that point. I have extra 2 inches added to what the measurements I have here. So 2 inches works just fine for my shoulder slope. Now what I'm going to do next is to come down here to 1.5 as the neck depth for this back. Then I'm going to connect it to the 3 inches neck width here on the shoulder this way. Next, I'm going to come down here on the bust point line and take my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch is, yeah. Then I'm going to come down here to the waistline and take my waist measurement divided by 4. I'm not adding any ease on the waistline. You can decide to add if you want to, but for that cinched waist, you don't have to add anything to your actual waist measurement divided by 4. Then on the top length, I'm going to mark my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch is. At this point, if you want to, you can do 1.5, but 1 inch or half inch works just fine. Then I'm going to connect the measurement this way, and after that I'm going to be curving this other part, just blending it in from the sleeve width to the side seam line, just like this. Once I'm done with all of this, I'm going to be coming up here to 1 inch just so I blend this part a bit, and then I'm going to place my ruler like this and connect it going to the center back. You can also decide to place your curve like this and then blend it in to the hemline if you want to. Next, I'm going to measure around this neckline, this back neckline, from the neck width all the way to the neck depth, and whatever it is I have, I'm going to have it in mind. That's the whole essence of my drafting the back pattern first, so that you have this measurement down, because you'll be needing it for the front neckline or the collar. So I have about 3.5, and I'm going to keep this pattern aside, then bring in my front pattern, which I have a space upwards before my shoulder line. I have about 6 inches upward. Then for here, I have about 5 inches, and it all depends on your size and what you're going for. But you should at least have this one that I have here, 6 inches up, 5 inches on the center. Then I have the shoulder line, bust point line, waistline, and the top line. Then on the shoulder line, I'm going to mark the same measurement I have on the shoulder line of the back. That is my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus the 9 inches sleeve length. That's what I have. Then coming down to the bust point line, I'm going to be minusing 2 inches like we did on the front pattern too, on the back pattern, sorry. Then I'm going to mark it here on the bust point line and use my ruler to connect the measurements I have on the bust point line to the one I have on the shoulder line. Next, I'm going to come here and mark my 3 inches neck width here. Then come down here to 2 inches for the shoulder slope. Once I have it, I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect it to the neck width, just like this. The next thing I'll do now is to come down here to 3 inches as my neck depth. I'll place my curve like this and curve from the 3 inches neck width to the 3 inches neck depth this way. Then I'm going to come down here on the waistline. On the bust point line, I'll first mark my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch is. Then on the waistline, the waist measurement divided by 4. We are not adding any is on the waistline. Then on the hip line, on the top length, I will be marking my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch is. Then I'm going to be connecting this measurement out like this. Once I'm done, I'm going to be coming up here by 1 inch, just like we did for the back pattern. Then place my curve this exact way and blend it into the hemline like this. Now this is what it's looking like so far. Next, I'm going to be blending this part from the sleeve width to the side seam line, and this is what it's looking like after I was done. And now that all of this is out of the way, I'm going to work on the collar, and to do that, I'm going to come up here to that same 3 inches I'm using as my neck width, just the same 3 inches. Then I'm going to go up to that same measurement I measured around the neckline for the back. For that, I measured 3.5 and I'm marking the exact 3.5 here. Then I'm going to just dot it to meet my neck width, because yeah, we are not following that line. Now I'm going to go out here on this dotted line to 1/2 inch. You can do 1 inch if you want to. Then I'm going to just connect it the same way you can see me do it. I recommend that you do 1 inch anyway. Then once I'm done, I'm going to measure to be sure that I have my 3.5 on that line. And then on this part, I'm going to be going out to 5 inches, because that's how wide I want the collar to be. By the time it's folded, it's going to be about 2.5. I'll clean off this unwanted part and of course make this part more pronounced so that you know what you are going for and where we'll be cutting later. Then here, you're going to go out 5 inches like I mentioned earlier, and if you don't know how high you should have it there, you're going to measure what you have here, which for my case is 3.5. Then you're going to add 1.5 to it. Whatever it is you have on this other side, on this other width, that's my 5 inches width here, you're going to add 1.5 to it. That's the easiest way to go about it and the most accurate way to go about it. Once I'm done, I'm going to connect it and you see that it's slanted. Now I'm going to come here on the waistline, because that's where the button will sit. Yeah, you're going to come out with your desired zipper button allowance, but I recommend 0.75 to 1 inch. Yeah, depending on the size of the button you're working with anyway, you can do more than 1 inch if your button is really large. Then here on the neck depth, I'm going to come out to 3.5, and that depends on how wide you want the lapel to be. I'm going to just place my curve like this and extend it to that 3.5. You can also decide to make it straight if you want to. It doesn't even matter at this point. So I have my 3.5 there. Then I'm going to connect from that 3.5 to the 5 inches weight I have on this above. I'm going to just place my curve like this. It's not too curvy and it's not too straight. Once I'm done, I'm going to come in here to 1.5, or better still, start from this line and come into 1 inch. Yeah, once you have it there, you're going to go up here to 1.5. On this part, you go up 1.5 to 2 inches, but 1.5 is what I recommend anytime, any day. So I have 1.5 there. Then I'm going to connect it to the 1 inch I have from the center front outwards this way. Now I'm going to connect from this part, this 3.5 extension of the lapel. I'm going to connect from that point to the button allowance of 1 inch here on the waistline. And after that, this is what it's looking like. You're going to clean off this part, because yeah, that is the notched collar itself. Now I'm going to come in here from this center front here on the hem. I'm going to come into 2.5. So when you open it up, it's going to be 5 inches. If you want to, you can do just 2 inches, or depending on how wide you want it to be on that point. But yeah, first I did 2 inches and I ended up doing 2.5, which is 5 inches when you open it up. And yeah, that's pretty much about it for this particular pattern, except that I noticed that there was a curve on this part of the collar. Looking at the picture, you see that It's slightly not even slightly, it was really obvious that there's a curve there, and it's quite cute. So I'm going to be placing my curve like you see me do it here, and just curve it until I have it looking like what we have on the reference style. At this point, I'm not using any measurement. I'm just trying to like make it look like what we are trying to recreate. And yeah, if it means you're using your free hand or using a curve to get it, just go ahead and do it. But just follow my process, because yeah, at least I'm showing you how to go about it so that you won't have to spend all day trying to figure it out. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. We are going to be cutting this out, and I'll show you where you should cut and what you should do after cutting out your pattern. First, I'm going to cut out the collar, and after cutting, it's really obvious which part is the top part and which part is the down part, but you can still go ahead and notch the top part to know that yeah, this is the top part. I'll cut out the shoulder slope, then cut it out on the hem, cut on the side seam all the way to the sleeve extension like this. And once I'm done, I'm going to cut it out here on the lapel and all the way to this opening here. Now once you're done, you're going to notch this part where your notch will be, or the notch started. Then I'm going to use this back, the front pattern, to trace the back, the side seam, and yeah, we didn't play, we got it right. Then I'm going to also cut out the back pattern like you see me doing it here. The back is pretty much straightforward, and after cutting, transferring to your fabric, you're going to be adding your allowance, just half-inch allowance everywhere except on the center back, because you're cutting that part on fold. Okay, you're cutting the back on fold, then the front is going to be in pieces. Since we did not contour the back, just cut it on fold. But if you want, you can decide to go ahead and contour the center back so that you also have the back pattern in pieces. But yeah, this is what it's looking like. Remember I said you should notch where the notch, yeah, exactly, where the notch will sit, the collar itself would sit, and that notch will come out from. Then for this collar, you're going to cut that on fold if you want to, and then it's better to cut it on bias so that it sit nicely on the neckline with no form of rumpling anywhere. And then you're cutting two pieces of the front pattern, two pieces of the collar, or better still, you cut it on fold like I said. Then you're cutting this back pattern on fold and placing them side by side. You see what you're going to get afterwards. Yeah, and that's pretty much about it for this particular tutorial. I hope you found it very helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments, and I'll be seeing you on my next one. Bye bye.